You were very helpful also, not just finding then the house and also in the negotiation part of things, you know, because obviously in the States we don't have the laws that apply in France, whether it's the septic tank, you know, you don't really have a house inspection like we have. So there's a lot of things that are not like the way we're used to. And I think it was incredibly helpful that you knew all about it and you knew what to look for, where we were literally clueless. You were helping us, connecting us
to the right people.
To the right people.
Yeah. Hi everyone, this is Kyela. I'm a real estate agent in the south of France. This is my YouTube channel and I'm here today to introduce you to Nicola, who is one of my clients who is from the States, and I'm very glad that our journey started about a year ago, is that right?
Yes, a little bit over a year ago. Yes.
And so how was that journey for you?
After almost 5 years of searching for a house in total, the last year has been the most fun, to say the least. I think in the beginning it was difficult, I think, when you're so far away to communicate in the right terms what you're looking for.
Because you were in California doing your search for the south of France, right?
And it is very difficult with the 9-hour time difference to get a hold of people, and then you see something and the photos look nice, but you know that the photos are not always reflecting the reality. So overall, I think the year has been a journey with a beautiful, happy ending.
Oh, it has.
I got recommended to Kyela from a friend of mine, and highly recommended, and I'm glad I followed her lead there. And it was very easy to communicate with you through WhatsApp.
Yeah, WhatsApp is a great tool,
because
isn't it?
I ignored the 9-hour time difference and texted you day and night. But I felt like it was a major help going through the lots of options that you find online on all the different websites, and then sending them to you, and then you doing like a first evaluation of, you know what, I don't think that location is good for you. You have the knowledge of the area, which is a major benefit.
Filtering system,
yes.
Isn't it?
Yeah. It's like the first filtering system. For us being far away, even though we kind of knew the area, it was still like little informations, like there's an area where you don't want to buy something because the grounds have clay in it, or like high tension wires everywhere, things like that you don't see on photos, that you don't know about when you're not physically there, has been incredibly helpful, I think, for us to have you being our eyes on the front line and just go see the houses. And I think after a first kind of like a trial and error phase, I think you really had a good understanding of what we particularly were looking for, and kind of even had a bigger filtering system more and more towards.
I mean, I think there's a few key houses for me. Do you remember that house that was in Pélissan?
Oh my God! And most beautiful house.
It was the most beautiful house. It was the right price. It was absolutely. And I decided I was due to go and see them very early on a Monday morning because of the time difference. And I decided just to go and have a drive out there on the Sunday, and it was just those high tension posts everywhere. I took a video which I just sent to you, and it was just like, say no more, I shall cancel the appointment tomorrow morning.
Yeah, we actually ended up deciding, after we sold our house in the States way too fast, in 5 days, we were like feeling like now we're homeless, we have to find something, and there wasn't anything. So we decided to rent a house, and we actually signed the lease in February. For April. We found this house in the end of April after we signed the lease, but we didn't move in because we were still in the States kind of arranging our move. We were like literally deleting all of these newsletters with houses, and one morning I was you accidentally clicking.
Yeah, and I'll never forget that morning because you sent me that link.
Yeah.
And I was in a position to look at it straight away, and I looked at it straight away, and there was just something about that link where I was just like, you know what, that is incredible. I obviously always work with other agencies. I'm really open to doing inter-agencies, and I contacted the guy who actually had the mandate. We did a Zoom, didn't we?
You said to me, we are the first to see the house on Monday. We saw the house on Sunday. You called the agent Monday at 12 your time, 3 o'clock our time. I was in the bathrobe. I remember sitting on the sofa, and we
Torben was in bed.
Torben was in bed. We scheduled 30 minutes, and it was almost 2 hours.
2 hours later.
And ended up with an offer.
Yeah.
And then 3 days later, I was there.
It just goes to show that WhatsApp and FaceTime, those tools are really good tools, aren't they?
And I think the photos and the videos are great for in the beginning to get the first feel for, is this house worth it?
Yeah.
To actually really go see it in depth. And if that's the case, I think FaceTime is really, really great to get just the visual of like, how big is the entrance really? Like the flow of the house, you know, the floor plan that oftentimes is not provided. On
in
photos.
France we don't often get
that's
plans
really
as well.
something that is very difficult, you know, and especially coming from the States where everything is a little bit oversized. And then when the house was actually good enough after that, then I think you have to come visit and see, you know, and if it's a real like pearl in the oyster, you have to be fast.
You were able to see on FaceTime that actually you could see yourself living here.
Absolutely. The first time. That was the first time where we really felt like this could work. You know, and of course, as every house hunt, you start with these super high dream expectations. 5 years ago, we dreamt of this 400-year-old Bastide, you know, old stone.
So
charm.
few of them though.
I know, right? With the lavender field in the front and the olive on the side. We have a beautiful garden, so we have that, what we wanted, and everything else. I think there's never like 100% like the dream house, but you make it your dream house. And you were very helpful also, not just finding then the house, and also in the negotiation part of things, you know, because obviously in the States we don't have the laws that apply in France, whether it's the septic tank, you know, you don't really have a house inspection like we have. So there's a lot of things that are not like the way we're used to. And I think it was incredibly helpful that you knew all about it and you knew what to look for, where we were literally clueless, where we had no idea, you know, and you would bring up things, what about this, and did you ask about that, and you would ask the right questions. So it always felt like you were always on our side, you know, and not just for, you know, getting the commission, but actually making this our home and placing us there and get us settled in there and helped us, you know, especially with the house that we bought. You know, there were a lot of things not to our liking in terms of like changing floor tiles, bathroom updates, and so on and so forth. And you were helping us, connecting us
to the right people.
And then even took the time for 2.5 hours to sit in another Zoom meeting with a contractor.
We did.
You know, and it was incredibly helpful because also the language barrier, you know, I understand a lot of French, but my vocabulary is just not sufficient enough to carry a conversation with a contractor.
But your French has improved massively in just a few months.
Oh, I'm actually proud because I managed a few things that were rather challenging for me, but I managed, and I was very proud of myself. And I feel like now we're getting like more and more settled each day. The house takes shape, and you're still there helping with daily things in life, whether it's referring to a good cafe or the best bakery, the best yoga class, or whatever the needs are. You kind of like, more than an agent, you're like a hand holder without the cost of the hand holder. And then turning into a friend, which is the most valuable part of it.
Yeah, no, you're right. So if we go back just to the point where we got the offer accepted and all the offer was in English and in French, and
Yes.
so all that paperwork was done at a distance. So I think you felt quite comfortable with that.
I did. It was incredible. I was really overwhelmed initially with the amount of paperwork all in French.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, do I have to use Google Translate, or I have to, because I'm hearing from a lot of friends that they spend an absolute fortune
On
on translating services or English speaking lawyers or whatnot, which in my opinion was not necessary. You saved us a whole lot of money with that. The fact that you were able to translate it. So, you know, then you introduced us with a notaire that was fluent in English, which was also incredibly helpful. And she was also like someone that was very trustworthy and someone that you felt like is fighting for your rights, not for the other side. You know, not that it was about fighting, but it was just like you felt like if there would something be coming up in the future or something not be right, you would feel like someone is on your side.
She had your best interests at heart.
Exactly.
Yeah. Maître Monsieur, who we've interviewed on a different little episode, was super reactive.
Yes.
And, you know, even the distance with that.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess what I want to really bring to my clients is making the process of buying a house as easy as possible.
And it was like that.
And it's connecting you with the right people where language isn't going to be a problem, and the culture is going to be overcome by being able to speak English.
It's not just but I don't think it's just that English I don't think it's just the language. I think it is also the understanding, because I mean, like, you come from this, particularly from the States, you have very different laws and very different expectations, and France is not necessarily known for being like a, you know, service-oriented country like the States, where the client is the king necessarily, right? But for me, I have to say, I felt like I was the king. Like, I felt like that was a super smooth sale. It was a super smooth notaire. It was it is still a super smooth construction situation that we have going on. So for me, I can really say, like, it was like the client is king kind of a service, right? Well, I know a lot of people here that have struggled with from the agent to the notaire to the construction to everything else. It was rather a disaster, and so it's nice to have like found the pearl in the oyster, you know. So it was really like a good experience overall. And I think it is very important that when you are so far away, that you have someone you can trust. You know?
I'm absolutely delighted to have been part of that particular journey with you, and you have found an awesome pearl. And more to the point, I've now got a yoga buddy and a new friend. So thank you, thank you for trusting me, and thank you for taking the time to be interviewed for this YouTube channel. So thank you, everyone, and don't hesitate to call me for any real estate needs in the south of France.